We are from Pastor Garlic's kitchen. We're making Chinese bitter melon today. Yum! And it's such a popular dish in our home that this is also on the menu, fish sticks. So basically you buy the bitter melon and then I'm going to just cut it up. I'll show you how you do that first. And that you just kind of slice it through the middle and then you have to, the seeds are not good or tasty, so you have to clean out the middle. And to do that, you just get a spoon and you just basically scrape it out like so. Very easy. Okay, like that. And then you do that to both of them. So then you've cut it once through the middle, and then you cut it again so that it's a little bit smaller. And then you just take it and then you slice it. So then it comes into little pieces like so. And then it looks like this. All right. And then what you need to do is you need to blanch it. Blanching it, and I put about a tablespoon of baking soda in here. And then I got some boiling hot water. And I'm going to mix it in here. And by doing this, it blanches it and it helps it, cat saying hi, and putting it in here makes it so that it begins the cooking process, but it maintains the color, because if not, when you end up cooking it, the color ends up washing out. So you just leave it in there for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to do a cold water bath. And then that keeps it from getting overly soggy, and it keeps the color nice. Okay, then I'm going to prepare the gravy. And usually I'd use a couple tablespoons of cornstarch, but I didn't have cornstarch. So one of the secrets of Pastor Garlic's kitchen is to improvise. So I'm adding cold water to the flour. It's really important that you mix it well and that you use cold water, because if you use hot water, then it becomes very lumpy. Cornstarch does a better job of not getting lumpy. So since I'm using flour, you just want to make sure that it's mixed really well. So I'm trying to smush it and mix it. Once it's nice and smooth, then I'm gonna get some black bean garlic sauce. I'm gonna try and show you what this is, black bean garlic sauce. And I'm gonna take probably about 1.5 tablespoons of that and mix it in here as well. All right, that's nicely mixed together now. And then I'm going to prepare the meat that's going to go in it. And I'm going to use some pork. I had made side pork the other day, and I took the rest of it and I just kind of separated it. So I have the skin portion, and then I'm going to just take what was left and I'm going to just trim it here. I'm going to put it into little slices. So you have some nice fatty parts in here and some good flavorful meat. So I'm going to just cut that up. So as I finished cutting it up, I realized there was a lot of pieces that were really fatty. So I just kind of cut the middle fatty part out. And as you can see here, I ended up with a lot of fat that I'm not going to use because it's just not healthy for you. but a little bit of fat is kind of nice, and it adds some good flavor to it as well. So I'm going to get my pan on high, then I'm going to mince up some garlic, and then we're going to use that to throw it in. We're not going to need much time because the meat is already fully cooked. All right, so I've gotten the garlic all minced up. Our frying pan is nice and hot, and I'm going to use some of the garlic here and just throw it in the pan. And the pan is nice and hot. You never want to burn your garlic, and so quickly throw the meat in. And we're just going to do a very quick stir fry of the meat. Stir it around, get it just browned a little bit so that you have some good meat. It being brown gives it a nice texture and a nice little flavoring there. Okay. And then, like I said, you don't need it on there for very long. And then I'm just going to scoop it off onto a plate. And again, not wanting to burn the garlic. Probably enough oil in here already, but I might just put a little bit more olive oil in here, and then get some more of the garlic, the rest of the garlic, throw it in there. And then I'm going to get my bitter melon that I've had. Just drop that. Whoops! Literally drop it. Drop it into the frying pan. So I'm going to stir fry this a little while because you want it a little bit al dente, but bitter melon takes a little while to cook, so you don't want it to be too tough. So I'm going to cook this a little bit, and then I'll be back. So I mentioned this taking a little while to cook. What you can do is actually put a lid on it. I'm leaving it on high, putting the lid on it so that it steams. That speeds up the cooking process a little bit. Okay, so these have been steaming under the lid on them for a couple of minutes, and so they're becoming quite a bit more tender. I think they're just about ready, because I'm going to cook it a little more, so you don't want it to be totally wilted, because you don't want them to end up soggy. So I'm going to stir in now our mixture of cornstarch, or in this case flour, and black bean sauce. And then we stir that around so that it begins to cook. Now, I kind of was guessing on the amount of cornstarch that, or in this case, like I said, flour that I use, and you can see it's thicker than you wanted it to be, or you want it to be more of a gravy, and it ended up very thick. So it's very easy to remedy that, is to just add some water. And then if you have too much water, then what you do is you just let it simmer a little bit until it evaporates off. But I think this looks like a good amount of water, so that we have a nice gravy sauce. And these are the types of things where I think people get afraid of cooking because they think, oh my gosh, it's like an exact science. Well, there is science to cooking, definitely, but I think it's more of an art than it is a science. And you don't have to be afraid. You can figure it out, and you try things that work, and then if they don't work, you try it differently next time. And so I'm gonna add the meat back in now, and we could probably turn this down because it was on high, and now we're just mixing it in. And then you can probably check for your consistency, or to find out how al dente you like it. But you just check this out. Oh, that's just about right. And as you can see, because of the fact that we blanched it, it has this nice, rich, deep green color. Because if you don't blanch it, it ends up kind of more of a pale yellow. And so, so I'm going to dish this up and have it on a nice presentation to show you. So we have finished cooking the meal, and then one of the things that if you want to have rice, a lot of times you think, oh my gosh, it takes so long to do the rice. So what I do is I do a bigger batch of rice, and then I just put it in the refrigerator. Then it's just really easy to microwave in a nice microwave-safe bowl with a lid over it, so it kind of re-steams. So it's just like it's fresh again. And I'm really into presentation, and so I have a little Chinese bowl here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this a little bit wet. Okay, so the bowl has a little water in it, and then I'm going to take my rice and scoop it into the bowl. Okay, and then I'm going to kind of smash it down a little bit, so that way when I put it out onto the plate, you'll see this here. Look at that. So then it has, it's a nice, nice little, I don't know what you call that, a dome. Thank you, Sammy. And then you get your food and you just spoon it over the top. Oh my gosh, this is making my mouth water here. And as you just put it on top like that, make sure you get some gravy like so, and just spoon that over the top. Get a little more vegetables. This is a very healthy meal. You just have a little bit of meat for the flavoring. The bitter melon is a very good, healthy green vegetable, high in antioxidants, I imagine, and everything. So there we go. That's Chinese bitter melon with black bean sauce. And Sammy and Bentley have been our happy observers. Our cute little doggy. And our son. All right, so signing off for now from Pastor Garlic's kitchen. The the bitter melon with black bean sauce and pork. Tune in next time. Catch you later.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thanks, Sammy.
I have to ruin everything for that, by the way.